up, nation? It is Wednesday. My name's Philip DeFranco, and I have a 101.5 fever, but we are gonna do the PDS because, I don't like laying in bed and it makes me feel worthless. And today I want to start off by answering a viewer question. Yeah. Phil, have you ever done hard drugs? Well, I don't know what you consider hard drugs. I have a medical marijuana card. I partake from time to time, but no, I don't mess with hard drugs. I have this kind of idea, this policy. If I can't stop eating chocolate chip cookies, how am I gonna stop doing meth? So I hope that makes sense to you, but let's jump into the first story of the day. And nation, let's talk about our douchebag of the day today, Police Sergeant Brett Seacatz. The reason being is in 2010, a man by the name of Adam Green was pulled over because police suspected that he was drunk. And today it's being reported that confirmed sources are saying that this footage that I'm gonna talk about in just a moment being shown in front of a federal grand jury. So it appears the man is acting weird. He has a gun pointed at him. There are 4 officers there and they pull him from the vehicle. Then there's a 5th police officer, and then for good measure a 6th police officer, and that being Brett Seacatz, kicking the apparently drunk man in the head 5 times. Now for the most part it seems the situation was handled. Green received $300,000 out of court. Then unfortunately for the police department, video of what went down was released February of last year. This being just another example of what we expect from the men and women in blue. Police brutality, but what makes it worse? Oh God, what makes it worse? It appears the man was in fact not drunk, but after being pulled over went into diabetic shock. The man was a diabetic suffering from severe hyperglycemia, and they even realized this in the video, and some of the good cops are like, oh, he's probably in shock. And that of course is something I also want to get across, like all cops are not thuggish, power-hungry douchebags. In fact, 98% of the time I've come across police officers in the real world, they've been fantastic. But you have these terrible ones, like a few minutes after all of this went down, we see more dash cam footage. It sounds like this.
Right, I could have taken him by myself.
He's just laughing, having a good time with his boys, commenting how he could have taken the diabetic man going through shock by himself. And super fun side note, Steve Wolfson, the district attorney for this district, said he didn't press charges against the officer because Henderson police policy allows kicking sometimes. I guess even when it is 6-on-1. And I guess my main thing here is even if Mr. Green had not been diabetic and he had been drunk, which, oh, I hate drunk drivers, a 6-on-1 beating, kicking to the face is not justified. And it really doesn't help the current image of the police of being these GED totin' rage monsters. That is why Police Sergeant Seacatz is our douchebag of the day. Then there was the news of Subway coming under fire from their customers because apparently their footlong is in fact not a foot long but 11 inches. To which my knee-jerk reaction is, well, the last time someone told you it was 12 inches, did you really believe them? Dick jokes, I'm not above making those. I mean, personally, my thing with Subway sandwiches is how did they, is there technology involved with taking all the good flavor out of their sandwiches? And honestly, the real thing Subway has shown me throughout the years is having a good product is not really necessary to be number one. It all comes down to good marketing and availability. That's it. But after the original picture and post got over 100,000 likes on Facebook, other people went to the Subway Facebook page, started posting their own pictures. Some people saying Subway just straight up lied about their bread. Some people saying, you know, when you toast a sub, contrary to popular belief, it shrinks. So today, to test it out so that you didn't have to go to Subway and get a terrible, terrible sandwich, we got 2 subs that are exactly the same thing, except one of them is toasted and one of them is not. And I have not actually measured them yet, so what we were going to see if it's real or not. You can smell the inadequacy. Also, question, do you measure it from the balls or the base? And our first one, which is actually the non-toasted one, is in fact 11 inches. And with toasted, we kind of have the same problem. It's just a little over 11. I also measured these on the table, so to make sure that these are exact. But nation, I guess the main thing here is it's not really the size that matters, it's what you do with it. In my opinion, Subway fails on both of those marks. And from there, let's talk about guns. Yay, guns are so fun to talk about. There's a bunch of stuff happening today. The first thing I want to talk about is the NRA's new commercial. Now, first off, to the lefties out there that are saying, oh, this commercial's racist. No, how? You can't call everything that is said towards a black man racist. That's just, no, I'm sorry, no. But also to those on the right saying President Obama's a hypocrite. Okay, just really fast, you and your kids, it is a completely different situation. Like, no one's usually just thinking, I'm gonna kill Joe Blow. But in our history, we've seen 4 presidents actually assassinated, as well as 6 surviving their assassination attempts. But it should be noted that all the assassination attempts that were successful were with guns. And here's the thing too, I'm fine with having armed guards. Most schools have like a security officer. Mine personally did. It's a police officer who works at the school. I think that's great. So no, I don't believe that makes the president a hypocrite. I do believe the president is a hypocrite on a few things, but that's a much bigger video. And interestingly enough, Obama kind of addressed this idea of having armed guards at schools, as well as a ton of things, because Obama announced a $500 million package with all these suggestions put forth from Vice President Joe Biden's task force on gun control. He called on Congress to 1, establish universal background checks for anyone looking to buy a gun. 2, banning military-style assault weapons as well as a 10-round cap on gun magazines. And 3. Confirming Todd Jones is the director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Jones is currently the acting director, but Congress has not confirmed anyone in 6 years. Now, personally, how Congress is split right now, if this was one bill, I don't actually see it going through. But on top of all of that, Obama signed 23 executive actions, which actually don't require Congress to approve them at all. One of those 23 is something the NRA kind of mentioned, armed guards, i.e., government will now provide incentives to schools that actually hire school resource officers. A school resource officer is essentially a police officer that is at an elementary, a middle school, a high school. They also have other responsibilities as well as being like a positive role model. And personally, I'll take an SRO any day over arming all our teachers. That's kind of scary to me. Like, bad guys with guns are bad, but good guys that don't know how to use guns properly are they're not as bad, but the likelihood of an accidental death, it's there. If you want to see the full list of executive actions, link to it down below. And honestly, I think the biggest thing, the most positive thing that can come out of all of this, rather than just all these reactionary measures, a bigger importance on prevention and background checks. I mean, Obama addresses a few things here and there, but it's scary. Like, the Wall Street Journal reported today, quote, millions of mental health records remain missing from the national database that gun dealers use to run background checks on potential buyers. That's, and I guess it's an unfortunate word, that's insanity. And on top of that, I mean, I know people have mentioned it before, this is a gun issue, but it's also a mental health issue, and it's also an economic issue. Obama mentioned that since Newtown, 900 deaths have resulted in this country from gun violence. And my question to that 900 statistic is, well, how many of those involved an assault rifle? How many of those deaths happened in low-income neighborhoods? How many of those shooters were under the influence or not in the right state of mind in some way? But Nation, all of that's just what's going on in my brain. This is the PDS. Let me know what you think. Do you think that these executive actions Obama put through will provide any change? Do you think if Congress does anything that will help? Let me know everything you think about this situation in the comments down below. Remember to possibly get pelted with a $100 Amazon gift card. Leave a comment down below. Join the conversation. Maybe hit the like button, favorite if you really like it, subscribe. But of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.